The New York Knicks just won the championship. Kind of. What up, guys? I'm Scotty Knows. I'm back with my second video, my second podcast, whatever you want to call it. It's been a while. It's been a couple weeks, a month or so. I don't know. But I have more time on my hands, so I'm going to be capable and I will be able to bump out some more content, some more hoops talk for y'all. I hope you guys enjoyed my first video talking about the Oklahoma City Thunder and just their chances this season at going past the 73-9 mark that the Warriors set in 2016. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I hope you guys will enjoy this video where I'll be talking about my Knicks winning the championship, kind of. And yeah, we're going to get right to it. Knicks, Spurs, let's go. All right, so to begin with, this was a phenomenal game. This was a great game. I think the NBA Cup has been a total success for the NBA thus far. This is the third season, I believe, of the NBA Cup. So this NBA Cup series or in-season tournament type of feel for the NBA has really proven to be pretty productive, I'm sure, financially and as well as just the on-court play. I think the players have something to play for. I think the players are motivated to play for a little bit of extra dough, especially the ones that don't play much, or the rookies, the younger players in the league for sure. And it's just like when you play pro sports, I'm sure there's like a competitive fire that you should have just for playing when you're playing for something truly. Like the NBA Cup is something that you don't have to win throughout the season to get into. It's something that you could that you're given games to play to try to get into the Las Vegas tournament. So all 30 teams are capable of getting to Las Vegas as long as you just win those crucial games in the regular season. So I think the NBA Cup has been great. Round of applause to Adam Silver and the NBA for giving us these series of games and this phenomenal, entertaining tournament. It was great. And this game, I think, happened to be the best game out of all 3 years, honestly, in terms of just watching the NBA Cup in action in Las Vegas. This game was phenomenal. This game had a little bit of everything. This game had hustle. It had heart. This game had intense moments, elite scoring, just elite basketball, really elite basketball that was being played. So to begin the game, obviously I'm a Knicks fan. You know I had the Knicks winning this game. There's no doubt in my mind that we were going to win, and we won. So, yeah, we're NBA champions, baby. I'll take it. First time in like 50 years. I'll take it. So immediately I think both offenses get out to pretty good starts, pretty hot starts. My main problem in the beginning of the game with my Knicks was just the transition game, the transition defense, the half-court defense as well, the interior defense. It was very evident that Cat was a target again. Cat, as we've seen for most of his career, he's been a pretty large target for most teams in terms of being in the pick and roll, drop coverage, attacking him towards the paint, and you know, as a lob threat, using his lack of athleticism and foot speed and verticality, taking advantage of that and just throwing lobs right over the top. So I think you saw a lot of that throughout this game. And obviously, like, once we get into the fourth quarter and on, we could get into the whole Mitchell Robinson effect and everything. But I believe in that first quarter, especially that first half of play, Karl-Anthony Towns is getting picked on. Even Jalen Brunson, like, that's the problem when you have those are Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns are the Knicks' two best offensive players, right? There are two best players in general. The problem is that Jalen Brunson, his lack of size is just going to make him a negative on defense at times. It's easy to pick on him. It's easy just to shoot right over the top over him because he's only like 6'1", 6'2". And then with Karl-Anthony Towns, it's like you see the effort is kind of there for the most part. He's just a big player, bigger dude, on the heftier side, not really quick on his feet, not as athletic as you would want from a center, not really a vertical threat in terms of like throwing a lob to him or blocking shots and protecting the rim, not really a rim intimidator. So when you have two players on the court like that you could just attack in the pick and roll, a point guard and your center, and your point guard, they're at the point, so they're going to be the point of attack, or like they're going to be the primary players on ball when the half court set begins, right? Your final line of defense is your center, who's protecting the rim, because that's the center's job on defense. So when you have two players that are kind of negatives on that end, but then it just makes things a little bit frustrating at times. But you know what they give you offensively, so you kind of just have to live with it. You kind of have to just move on and just kind of like figure things out and put a lot of versatility around them. But that's kind of what the Knicks have. I mean, we have solid versatility in terms of using our wings, like Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby. We have a lot of those things, right? And I think against certain teams, we're going to get exposed a little bit. I think we saw it against the Pacers last season in the playoffs. Their pace and their offensive versatility, their guard play, I think it really affected us. So it just made things a little bit tough in the pick and roll. Easy to target Cat, easy to target Jalen Brunson, right? But I think we're figuring things out as we go. I think Karl-Anthony Towns has taken a little bit of an uptick on defense. He hasn't been as bad, I feel like, as we may have seen him. But even then, it's just like that's just the type of player that he is. So he's going to get picked on. But just continue to be creative and figure out ways to kind of not hide him, but just protect him and kind of just work around that deficit. That's what you have to do. You have to use your players to the best of their abilities, right? So work around it, figure things out. That's why I have Mike Brown now. But that was the beginning of the game. But offensively, I thought we got out to a great start. I think going to the Spurs side of things, Stephon Castle was phenomenal in this game throughout the whole entire game. But it was evident in that first half that like the pick and roll game between him and Cornette, his ability to draw attention, to slash to the rim and draw eyes, gives him it allows him to play make and create plays. And I think there was like 3 or 4 lobs this game to Cornette in that first half that were very frustrating all game, because it was just like it was right over the top of Karl-Anthony Towns. You know, he's a little bit of a liability on defense, right? So I mean, Castle being the smart player that he is, being the hustle player that he is, being the tough player that he is, high IQ player, he's going to just keep it doing the same thing over and over again because you know it's going to work. So I think Stephon Castle was phenomenal tonight. He had 15 and 12 assists in this game, so 7 rebounds. Great overall performance. The one thing you look at Stephon Castle in his game is just his ability to shoot it. He doesn't really shoot the ball well. Not really much of a shot maker. I mean, he has moments here and there where he shows the confidence. Confidence with Stephon Castle isn't really something that you have to worry about. It's just more developing the skill of just shot making and shooting the ball. But other than that, even when he's not shooting well, which most of the time he isn't in terms of like outside at the perimeter, he's one of those players that's just a winning player. He's going to make winning plays. He's going to hustle. He's going to get the rebounds. He's going to do all the little things that you need him to do. Kind of like a Jrue Holiday, kind of like a Jimmy Butler-ish type of player, kind of like a Josh Hart on my Knicks. You know what I mean? He's kind of a mix of all 3 of those players in one. And it's just like, it's really impressive how even if he's not hitting the outside shot, he doesn't hit the outside shot most of the time. He's not really a shot maker from the outside yet. He still makes an impact on defense. His hustle, his toughness, his IQ, his demeanor, it's all there. The only thing that's missing from Stephon Castle is a shot. But really, like, Stephon Castle is a really intriguing and impressive player out there. Even in the fourth quarter when he was, like, getting those offensive rebounds, or was it the third quarter? One of the quarters. He had a sequence where he, like, I think missed a shot or something like that. He got 2 offensive rebounds, saved the ball from going out of bounds, and as he saved the ball from going out of bounds or whatever, he threw a lob to Wemby. He showed a lot of just, like, awareness, cerebralness, and just hustle of getting those offensive rebounds. So Stephon Castle, I think, is a living example of how you can dominate in basketball or in sports or just in life in general just by being smart and just going hard, just playing hard. It's really just smarts and toughness. That's what he thrives off of, and he's elite at those 2 things. So I think having Stephon Castle with a De'Aaron Fox, who was also pretty good this game, scoring the ball. A little bit inefficient for De'Aaron Fox's choice of shots. Only shot 13 times. I wish he would have shot a little bit more. I thought he's hit some really tough shots this game. I thought there's times where he got into his bag of tricks, and whatnot. Had a really good game as well, just assisting, 9 assists, kind of right behind Castle. Him and Castle were really like affecting us with their slashing ability, getting to the rim, their scoring, the attention that they draw. And then it's just like they have great awareness and vision just to, get those passes off, kick it out, throw the lob, whatever it is, to Cornette or to Wemby and whatnot. So Fox, pretty good game, even though I wish he would have scored a little bit more. I wish down the stretch he would have played maybe a little bit better, I guess. But he hit some tough shots. So I think even let's go to Dylan Harper, the third guard in this rotation. Dylan Harper, I think, had actually a really good game. He had 21 points. He had more points than Stephon Castle and De'Aaron Fox. And I think Dylan Harper has a chance to potentially be a lead guard for the San Antonio Spurs in the future. Now, obviously, they have Fox right now. Fox is having a pretty good season. Fox in the NBA Cup, I think his stats was like he was almost averaging like 30 or something like that, something along those lines. So all I gotta say about Dylan Harper is that he's a 3-level scoring threat. Plays pretty good defense as well. Just really good all around guard. I think getting Dylan Harper with that second overall pick, I believe, right? With that second overall pick to the Spurs, yeah, that was a lick. That was a yeah. He's just a guy that could pretty much do a little bit of everything on the court at the guard position, and he's coming off the bench for him. And when you look at his game and the way he plays, everything speaks to being a future star in this league, in my opinion, because he can literally do a little bit of everything. He could play. He's showing his ability to play with other dominant guards like De'Aaron Fox and Stephon Castle, and he's shown his ability to just be a creator out there himself. So. And he's only learning from Stephon Castle, from De'Aaron Fox and whatnot. So the sky's the limit for Dylan Harper. Even like in that fourth quarter, like when he matched Jalen Brunson's physicality, that was impressive to me. That was really impressive. Jalen Brunson is one of the most physical guards in the league right now. In the post, getting downhill and whatnot. So when you see a guard like Dylan Harper match his physicality as a rookie, I mean, the sky's the limit for him. It's just about developing and just doing the right things for him. But I think he's definitely in line to be the lead guard for them in the future and take a starting spot eventually. Definitely sooner than later. But at the same time, you don't have to press anything. You don't have to rush anything. You have 3 great guards in De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle, and Dylan Harper. It doesn't mean you have to get rid of one of them if they could all play together. If they could all play together, then you don't really have to. The only time you would have to is with, like, handling the books, the finances, trying to figure out the money situation. You sign guys. I can see 2 or 3 years down the line. You're gonna have to sign Dylan Harper to an extension. You're gonna have to sign Stephon Castle. You're gonna have to look at De'Aaron Fox's age and contract and see, like, okay, what are we gonna do with him? So those things will come later, but right now, there's no need to rush it. These guys seem like they could play together just fine because they're all about winning. They have a good culture in San Antonio. So no need to rush it. They can all play together if they can. There's no need to rush or try to move somebody unless it's like you really need to. So that's my little excerpt on those 3 guards. Not just in this game, but just as they continue to develop together on the San Antonio team. Now back to my Knicks. Let's talk about the second half. In the second half, we came out a little scary. I think the San Antonio Spurs really established their defense in that third quarter, like the first couple minutes. You could tell they were locked in. They were about their adjustments. I think they started trapping and whatnot. So they really locked in on what their game plan was in that second half. Fox was racking up assists. He was continuing to hit some difficult shots off the dribble in the mid-range. He only hit 5 shots this game, but a lot of those shots, I feel like 3 or 4 of them were like just really impressive shot-making type of shots, and that's the type of things that you see from De'Aaron Fox. And the lobs were continuing to kill us, but I think what I'm so proud of for my Knicks, as a Knicks fan, Um, knowing that we're contenders this season, knowing that the East is a little bit depleted, knowing that there's a window for us to legitimately get to the finals. Like, with all due respect to the Cavaliers, who aren't really that good right now, to be honest with you. With all due respect to them, with all due respect to the Pistons, who are having the best season in like 20 years, you know what I'm saying, for their organization and their franchise. There's no reason why my Knicks shouldn't be in the NBA Finals. There's no reason why we shouldn't get there. There's no reason why we should be leading the pack to get to the NBA Finals, to be honest with you. So to see us kind of like struggle in this game at times, to see a young team, a young and deep team like the Spurs give it to us for real, especially in that first half, and to come out with this win just off of grit and just like figuring out how to win, creating winning habits, I think that's really good for our long-term development as we go into the playoffs, or as we go down the season in this regular season. And then once we get to the playoffs, and then hopefully go on a deep, or we should go on a deep playoff run again. I think wins like these, especially in the NBA Cup, where it's just like you're playing for something. You're playing for money. You're playing for reputation. You're playing for bragging rights. You're playing for the NBA Cup. You're playing for a trophy. So it definitely simulates a little bit of a conference finals, NBA finals type of atmosphere in terms of you're playing for something. It simulates the playoffs for us. So I think that's a good glimpse into the future, and it gives us confidence. It gives us grit. It just gives us great confidence going into the playoffs, knowing that like, okay, we can win these big games. We just got to actually do it. You know what I mean? But as I said, what made the Spurs so frustrating this game was just their ability to their three guards, honestly, like Dylan Harper, Fox, Stephon Castle. They were killing us with their playmaking and slashing abilities. Now, the one player that I haven't really talked about on the Spurs yet has been Wemby, right? Kind of save that for the back end of this video. Wemby, not a bad game, not a terrible outing. Definitely showed his impact. He has 10 straight points in that third quarter to end the third quarter, which is pretty impressive. Still certain things about his game that he's still working on, like handling a double team, and just like facing pressure. I think what allowed my Knicks to really like hone in on him this game and really like come back in this game, especially in that fourth quarter. We just did a better job on him. We just had our guys get into him a little bit more, showed him more bodies. We just did what we had to do to win the game. So in the case of Victor Wembanyama, when he looked at him against the Oklahoma City Thunder, I think it was kind of like a weird advantage of him for the Spurs for him to come off the bench. I think it was a little bit not unexpected because like you knew he was going to play and you knew he was going to be a little bit limited, especially coming back from a calf injury. So if you're OKC, you would have to expect that, right? The difference is, I think, after seeing that for one game against the Oklahoma City Thunder, my Knicks were able to look at the film, see what we need to do, and just take advantage of him of just getting in his grill, being physical, doing what we do best. We're one of the most physical teams in the NBA. So if we're not doing that against Wembanyama, someone that's 7'5", like that's the only thing you really can do. No one can match his height or length. The only thing you can do is get into his space, make him uncomfortable. And I think we did enough of that for us to win the game. So yeah, that's my little piece on Victor Wembanyama. Take it or leave it. Overall, if I'm a Spurs fan, it sucks to lose the NBA Cup. I know it's something that's kind of new now. It's nice to have like a little bit of an accolade and win something during the regular season. For the players, it sucks to not have the money in their bank account, understandably so. But at the same time, if I'm a Spurs fan, I'm not too mad. You see the depth of this roster when you have Castle, Fox, Dylan Harper, Julian Champagnie. Obviously, you have Vic. You got Harrison Barnes. You have a whole bunch of players on this team that really provide some depth for you, and they're like a good young team right now, which is really intriguing. Which is part of the reason why I'm so glad that Victor Wembanyama is on the San Antonio Spurs and not with the Washington Wizards or with the Utah Jazz or, you know what I'm saying, the Sacramento Kings, one of those teams that seem to never really get things right. So for him to be on a team like the Spurs, a team that's that's historically is known for forming good basketball teams. Um, that's known for having a good foundation with Tony Parker, Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, uh, Kawhi Leonard, to have a Dylan Harper, De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle, Victor Wembanyama, those type of players around in that organization, just winning type of players. It's really cool to see that. So I think you guys are on another journey in terms of um, being being a team that's always winning, being a team that's always in it for the win. If that makes sense, like you guys are always going to be competitive as long as you have Victor Wembanyama and a decent supporting cast around him. The fortunate part of this is that you have a good supporting cast around him that's young and that's still developing and still growing. Dylan Harper is in his rookie year. He's still growing. Stephon Castle is in his second year. He's still growing. Victor Wembanyama, third year, still growing. You know what I'm saying? Still getting better. There's just a lot to like about this team. Oh, even Devin Vassell. I haven't even said his name all video. I don't think I said his name all video. How can I forget? Devin Vassell, who has been on this team longer than any of those players, is having his best season. Just shooting the ball, playing with confidence, being that scoring type of wing / guard type of player, getting in the mid-range area, pull up threes and whatnot. So he's another player that you would want to keep and be intrigued of. The only question maybe is like a Jeremy Sohan. Sometimes he could be the odd man out at times just because of the type of player that he is. He's kind of like a Draymond Green type of player who's like a power forward, playmaker, connector, provides defense and versatility on the defensive side of things. So sometimes he could be the odd man out, right? But really, when you look at the overall depth of this team and what they could potentially have, even Carter Bryant, who hasn't really played for them this season, who I think he's probably not ready for real to be on the court right now, which is okay. He's a rookie, but he projects in terms of his size, his stature, his athleticism to be a pretty damn good player, even with his potential shooting ability. So we saw that in the summer league. He's a pretty good player. Just gonna take some time. Not every rookie is gonna be great right out the gate. You know what I'm saying? Not every rookie is gonna be in the top 5 rookie of the year race type of player. Like I think sometimes we expect that from a lot of rookies or from like the rookies on your favorite team, but for Carter Bryant, it might take a little minute. You know what I'm saying? But I think there's plenty to be intrigued of if you're a Spurs fan. I think there's plenty to be excited for. You guys can still go, not just get to the playoffs, but I think you guys can legitimately win a round if things go right and if you guys have a good matchup. You know, depending on whatever Western Conference team you guys face. So if I'm the Spurs, it does suck. It does kind of it never feels good to lose, right? It doesn't feel good to lose in an NBA Cup or when you're playing for something for real. But you guys got the experience though. You guys got the experience, and you guys have proven that you guys have like a good foundation ahead of you. And like on a night where it's just Knicks versus Spurs, everybody's watching that one game. There's no other games that night because of the NBA Cup final. So every team in the NBA, whether you're a player, GM, coach, or even like us fans, we're watching Knicks and Spurs in the NBA Cup final. So you guys, both teams, my Knicks and the Spurs, were able to put the world on notice in terms of how good they are. So shout out to the Spurs. Congrats to the Spurs for making it this far, and they have a bright, bright future ahead of them. Now, for my Knicks, just to close out this video on, with my Knicks, I'm extremely excited. I think we got great experience being in the situation in the NBA Cup final. I think we have proven that we could close out close games against pretty good teams, against deep teams, and I think it shows our depth as well. When you look at a Jordan Clarkson, when you look at a Tyler Kolek, when you look at a I'm blanking. But when you look at some of the depth on our roster, right, it really shows like, Mitchell Robinson. When you look at some of the depth on our roster, right, that's kind of what you need now in the NBA. I think it's great to have like the star power and the superstardom, as long as it fits. But it's great to have like superstars leading the way, right? But you need a group of players that really play well and play cohesive, and you need a group. You need a real team. You can't just have like a two superstars, three superstars, build a super team, kind of, you know what I'm saying? I think all the iterations of that we've seen the last couple of years, they haven't really worked well because they're always going against teams that have like a real solidified group around them, like a real team. Um, Even when you look at the Indiana Pacers from last season, you might look at Halliburton. He's kind of like the the leader of the pack, right? But when you look at the depth on the roster, the guard play that they have on the roster with McConnell, um, Andrew Nemhard, and whatnot, when you look at some of the wings and the forwards that they have with Siakam, Aaron Nesmith, when you look at those type of players that they Obi Toppin, when you look at those type of players that they have on the team, they just have a really good deep team that plays complementary with each other. And that's why I feel like we're starting to get to with this Mike Brown type of team compared to the Thibodeau team. You see him actually buying into the depth. You see him playing a Kolek. Because if this was Tom Thibodeau, Tyler Kolek would not be in the game. I'm just being real. He would be a second-year player. I don't think Tyler Kolek would be in the game to close it out. But this is why we got Mike Brown to do those little things, to kind of make those little tweaks and give us a different set of eyes and a different set of, or a different way of play, a different philosophy. You know what I mean? Buy into the depth. Really use the team. You have 18 players on this roster for a reason, right? So it's just like you might as well like see what each one of them can do and just figure things out, figure out lineups. And I'm happy that he went with a final lineup of Brunson, Kolek, Josh Hart, Karl Anthony Towns, and OG Anunoby to finish the last couple minutes of that game. Because to me, it's like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So when you see a player like Tyler Kolek, who's having a great game in the NBA Cup final game, he's doing the little things, he's doing the complimentary things. He's helped in terms of being another smart player on the court, being a connector and whatnot. I know I use that word a lot, connector, but he really does do those things. So when you have a guard tandem like Kolek and Brunson, Kolek he's allowing Brunson to it's like a stress reliever, if that makes sense. He's kind of he's providing more ball handling for Brunson, and I feel like in the starting lineup of Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, Karl Anthony Towns, the only real ball handler that we have on the team is really just like Brunson. Other than that, like in that starting lineup, it's like you don't really want OG or Mikal or even like Josh Hart at times to really have the ball in their hands for real and like create advantages and do anything. You want them to be more of play finishers. Even Josh Hart is more of like a connecting piece. He kind of just like complements everybody else, not really a true ball handler. So when you have a Brunson and a Kolek out there, it just allows things to be steadier. It allows things to be more ideal and allow it's smarter basketball out there. You have 2 point guards out there. So I think having Kolek to finish the game as well as he was playing, he had a 3 over Wembanyama, which is really impressive. In that third quarter, if anybody remembers that, he had a really impressive 3 over Wemby. He was doing the little things, hustling. He took a charge, even though I think it was overturned in that fourth quarter. But he took a charge. He does all those little complimentary things that you want to see a winning team and a winning player do. So I'm excited for Tyler Kolek as a kind of like a backup point guard for us in the future, I hope. And yeah, like legitimately, without guys like Tyler Kolek, without guys like OG Anunoby, Mitchell Robinson, without guys like Josh Hart, kind of like in the post-game interview that everybody that Jalen Brunson had said in that post-game interview, without those guys, we would not win this game. So I think this win is a testament to what we could potentially do in the future in terms of going on a deep playoff run and getting to the finals, right? And it's also a testament to how we are able to win these close games and we're able to win games against other great teams, other deep teams. And that was a Western Conference team, and the Western Conference is nothing to play with. So I'm for sure confident going into the playoffs this year. I'm for sure confident for the rest of the season. I just hope that we carry this momentum into January. I hope that we carry this momentum going into Christmas Day. I forget who we face on Christmas Day, but I hope we win. But whoever we play on Christmas Day, I hope we carry that momentum into that week and we continue to win. Again, with all due respect to the Pistons, all due respect to the Cavaliers who aren't really good right now. There's no reason why my Knicks shouldn't get to the finals. To be honest with you, just because I think we have the depth that's needed for a deep playoff run, and we have the star power or the head of the snake in Jalen Brunson. I think we have a guy that could actually take us there, and we have a secondary option in Karl Anthony Towns who's good enough offensively to take us there as well. So it's all about just like continuing to do what we're doing on offense and continuing to get better on defense. I think there's certain things on defense that we can still clean up. Not because we don't have the personnel. It's just more of like targeting Karl Anthony Towns, him kind of being a liability, even Jalen Brunson with his size, and more like coaching-wise and schematic-wise, I guess, if that makes sense. I don't know. Whatever defensive philosophy or way of play that we want to do. We just have to figure things out on defense. But other than that, with all the respect to the other teams in the East, I think we should be. There's no reason why this team shouldn't be in the NBA Finals unless it's like for injury purposes. There's just no reason, right? But that's going to conclude my video. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode 2 of me talking about the Knicks and the Spurs in the NBA Cup. My Knicks are champions. I'm happy. You know what I'm saying? Like it's been what, like since 72, 73 since we won a championship. We're NBA champions, man. I'm happy. Kind of. We're NBA Cup champions. I'll take it, man. I'll take it. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, I'm Scotty Knows. I'm talking basketball in here. I'm talking college basketball, NBA basketball, probably WNBA in the future once that season rolls around. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.